in Sicilia sono.
Good morning, my name is Carlos and I'm the Accidental Chef, and welcome to the Accidental Chef Cooking School. Today we're going to make two very special items that are very nice for, they're light and they're kind of summery, and so we're going to make them today. So first thing we're going to make today is crawfish fettuccine. Now, you know, here at the cooking school, we want you to learn how to cook. We want you to learn about food. We want you to be excited about food. And we want you to follow us. So we invite you to visit our blog at accidentalcookingblog.com. And the blog, we can communicate with you and keep you up to date on all the exciting things that are happening in the food world and at the Accidental Chef Cooking School. So let's begin. We're going to start with, and you know that I like to cook with a nice ironclad stainless cookware. It holds its shape, and bring my heat up. I've had my heat on low, just getting my skillet tempered and ready. I'm going to start with 2 sticks of margarine. When I was a child, they called it oleo. That's kind of a flash from the past to have oleo. So I'm just going to get that to come up with some heat here. Because I'm going to add my seasoning mix to that. Just going to turn that up. I'm also going to boil some water because this is a pasta dish. So I'm going to put my pasta water on so it can come up while we're doing that. I'm going to add a little bit of coarse kosher salt to that. About a tablespoon to 2 quarts of water is usually a good rule of thumb on your salt for your pasta. Now, as this comes up, we're very excited here at the cooking school because we've had so many friends come and visit us here and learn about different things that you can do and different things seasonally and otherwise. So we've got this butter, just oleo rather, margarine, doing that. All right. Good job. Just bringing that up some heat. We're going to use some really fresh ingredients today. I'm going to use my Trinity, or the vegetable seasoning mix. I'm going to use some beautiful Louisiana crawfish, some parsley, some nice garlic cheese, a little bit of Cajun seasoning, and some flour. It's a very easy recipe, and so we're going to just put this, get the heat up going right here. So we just kind of get that hot, and we're going to make a beautiful gourmet salad today. We're going to use all the fresh vegetables that we can find today. We're going to have these nice English cucumbers and some beautiful multicolored peppers that are going to make a very nice salad. We're also going to use some beautiful, I love these little grape tomatoes. They're crunchy and sweet. We're going to, of course, use a field of baby greens. You know, you have red lettuce. You have arugula, which is a nice kind of baby spinach, red leaf lettuce. So it makes a nice tender greens in that. And to that, we'll add some romaine hearts just to give it a little more lift and thing. And we'll use, of course, for our dressing, we'll use some garlic and some basil and some vinegar, but we'll get to that in just a minute. All of the recipes that we use on our show here at the Accidental Chef Cooking School are available on our blog at accidentalcookingblog.com. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add my seasoning mix to that. All right, let that saute. My butter wasn't quite done melting, but I just added my seasoning so that it wouldn't get too hot and scorch. Now it's done, and I'm just going to bring that heat up and let that saute like that. There we go. Get the rest of that out of there. Okay. All right. And then I'm going to add my seasoning. I like to use local seasonings. There's a bunch of seasoning mixes, just the one that you prefer to use. But I suggest that you taste them and that you read the ingredients list, and sometimes, because sometimes they add monosodium glutamate, or MSG, which some people have food allergies against, so you don't want to use anything that might make someone ill. So be aware of what's in it, test it, see which one you like, find out a lot. I find that you have to be real careful because a lot of them, they use a lot of paprika so that it looks more red and more coloring, and so that's sometimes troubling. I had a new one that I tried the other day. It was made not with red pepper so much, but with the ground chili pepper. So it was really nice. That one was really a good one. So there's, you know, here in South Louisiana, there's lots of them. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and add that to, now the recipe is real simple. A stick of margarine, a cup of seasoning mix, and a tablespoon of seasoning. So, of course, I'm making a little bit more than that this morning, so just so at ease. And it's good to add your seasoning at this point because the salt in the seasoning is going to help your vegetables sort of break down, you know? So while that's sauteing, I'm going to go ahead and start my salad. Now, you know, the important thing about a salad is that you have to have a great bowl. Now, I'm real fortunate because I've got this wonderful bowl. That was my grandmother's. My Sicilian grandmother got this bowl that one of my aunts bought for her at the farmer's market in Los Angeles during the war effort. So it's quite old, and it's not an antique. It has to be 100 years old to be an antique, but it's working its way in that direction. So first we're going to start with the grape tomatoes, which I've kind of grated, that is to say checked for bad ones, washed them and put them in there. Okay, and now I'm going to add my cucumbers. Now I'm going to do something a little different with the cucumbers, so I want you to watch closely as I cut up the cucumber. Use my beautiful new color-coded knives. I'm cutting these in cross blocks like this. I'm discarding the tips. And then I'm going to take these and I'm going to slice them this way, vertically if you will, so that I've got a nice piece of cucumber, very meaty. Changes the flavor of the cucumber completely by cutting it this way because it has a lot more meat on it, less of the seed, so it really changes this. I got this suggestion one time from the Cucumber Growers of America. Now, if you go to their websites, any product on the market, any fresh vegetable, has a website where either the manufacturer or the Growers Association have a website, and they will always have great tips for using their food. Because you know, those tips and those recipes that they give for their food have been developed by food scientists to make sure that the food that you're cooking, or their product that you're cooking, is properly prepared, and the recipe is the easiest and most effective way to cook their food. Because if you make the recipe and it's no good, then you will not use the product again. And their goal at the end of the day is to sell more product. So if you're not, if they're not, see now I've got a little sizzle in there. So I'm just going to let that sizzle until my onions get a little translucent. I'm going to use I'm going to use about a cucumber and a half in this situation. You see, you just cut them across like that and then down the sides this way. Okay? All right. All right, there we go. All right, everything's looking good. Now I'm good to my cucumbers. I'm just going to set that aside, and I'll come back and I'm going to cut my peppers. Just give this a minute or two more before I add my flour to it and begin to thicken it. All right, my knife. Now I'm going to take my peppers and I'm going to cut around the seed pod. You can see I'm just cutting around that so that the seed pod stays right there and I don't have to worry too much about the seeds because most of them stay with it. So, and that veiny white is mostly not there, okay? So I'm going to make julienne strips. Use more of a paring knife to do that. All right, let me just add a little bit of flour, that quarter of a cup of flour. Like I said, this is a little bit more. I'm just going to kind of make a white roux, if you will, with that. Get that combined real good with the margarine. Now, I'm not darkening it at all, so once it's combined, I'm ready to add my half and half, which is half whole milk and half heavy cream, okay? Now I'm going to bring my flame down a little on that so it begins to saute while it combines. Just use my little flat whisk here to make my sauce and get that combined. Get all my flour off of there. All right. And just get that all combined. All right. Very nice, very nice. As that cooks a little, it's going to thicken. Just give that a minute to thicken. Then I'm going to cut these into more bite-sized pieces, the julienne strips, and then add them to my salad bowl. There we go. I'm going to add a yellow one, or a gold one rather. I guess this is orange, not yellow or gold. All right. Nice strips there. All right. As my things begun to like that. There we go. All right. Beautiful. Beautiful. A new little gadget here I want to show you when I cut my other one. It's a lot of fun. It's a chopping board, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut my gold pepper on there so I can show you. You know, I love gadgets, and I'm always looking for new gadget stores. So this one's a lot of fun. Some nice julienne strips. There we go. Fresh peppers. They're very fragrant, very tasty. Then I'm going to cross-cut them. Okay. And then watch this. How about that? It just kind of makes a little shoot, and right into the bowl it goes. Isn't that beautiful? Fun and easy. All right, looks like we're getting a little bubble here. All right, very thick, nice, very nice. Nice and thick. All right. So what we're going to do now is we're going to add our cheese. This is a cheddar kind of garlic cheese. It's a product you can find in the market. Just look for it. Like that. Give that a minute. Cut that up so they can melt. It's called garlic cheddar, so just find that in your market. All right. Okay, and we're going to let that just sort of begin to heat. Okay. So we're almost done there. So let's finish up our salad dressing. Now, a salad dressing is my original recipe. It's a tablespoon of chopped garlic, a teaspoon of dry basil, a teaspoon of salt, and about a half a teaspoon of red cayenne pepper. Now, you didn't see me measure that because I've made it a few thousand times, so I can pretty much eyeball it to know that it's ready. I'm just going to give this a good stir that it melts. Okay. While that's melting, I'm going to go ahead and add my pasta, these broad egg noodles, to my water. Okay. My boiling water here. There we go, 90% from the free throw. I got most of them in the water. There we go. And I'll set my timer for 7 minutes. All right. Just give this a good stir like that. Okay, we've got all our ingredients in there. We're going to add a half a cup of balsamic vinegar. A good aged balsamic vinegar is always good. I'm going to give it a quick mix with my whisk. There we go. And then I'm going to add a cup of extra virgin olive oil. All right. Now I've got a very nice thing. I'm just going to mix that in. I got these great cups that I'm using today at the a new culinary store that just opened here. I was so excited to be in there, but look, watch this, how fun. I'm going to take my over here and watch. It bends so that you can pour easily. So I'm going to pour all of my dressing on my salad, and then I'm going to just give it a good stir to combine it. All right. I'm going to add a little bit of salt to it too, so that it gives the ability to the vegetables with the salt open up and allow themselves to receive the dressing and sort of marinate. Isn't that a beautiful salad? Now that can marinate like that for as long as you need to. If you're going to serve later in the day, you can make your salad early and let that thing. Now, this salad does very well with a lot of flavors. Now, I could add some blue cheese here, or some feta cheese, or some roasted flavored nuts. Well, whatever I want it, just lay it on top of that. Don't stir it into the marinade. Then I'm going to add my nice greens. Remember, these are the baby greens. And that, fun. Then I'm just going to set that right there and then cut up my... Ooh, I'm all messy this morning, but I'm going to cut up my lettuce right here. I'm going to use my lettuce knife, which is a plastic knife. Some people say, well, you can't really cut lettuce because it's going to bruise it or whatever, but this is going to really help with that process. Give my noodles a good stir once they're getting hot and it's coming back to a boil. Very nice. Okay. My cheese is just about melted. I'm going to trim off the two ends of this and then down the middle and then cross cut. Now, the reason I use the romaine is very simple. Romaine is a very firm lettuce. That's why we use it in dressings like Caesar that are very heavy. This tender greens, once it gets with the dressing, it's going to wilt very quickly. So I add the romaine to allow the salad to have some lift and to keep it from being wilted. Tomorrow, if I had extra salad left, you know it's kind of wilted, I'll just add some more romaine to it and bring it back up to a nice fluff. Okay. All right. There we go, some nice lettuce. I think my cheese is completely melted this. I'm going to turn this as low as possible because it's really done. And I'm going to add to that my crawfish. Beautiful, 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 beautiful. And just combine. Allowing my crawfish there to get hot. Isn't that nice? Very smooth, very easy. Just let that crawfish heat up in that beautiful sauce. And I'm going to finish that recipe with a little bit of flat Italian parsley, which I'm just going to coarse chop to add to my noodles when I combine it with the pasta sauce. Okay, there we are. We're just about at the end of our segment, but we've got a beautiful salad ready to be tossed at will now or in 3 hours. That would be fine. It won't really matter because the salad, the vegetables are marinating, and they won't get any. They can marinate as long as they possibly need to, so it's really not a problem for them. And then we've got a nice fettuccine. So having some friends over, a nice pasta dish, a nice salad, and of course, if you'd like, you can add some nice French bread. Now, I like to use the baguettes because the baguettes have the most texture. You know, it's a nice, firmer bread. Now, what makes it a baguette is that it's smaller than a bigger French bread. And this particular one is a French baguette. Now, we know that because the meat is more dense. So if we want to, we're just going to cut these into some nice pieces, serve them just like that on the plate with the salad and the fettuccine, because everybody likes a little bread and butter with their lunch or dinner. Okay, how's that looking? Isn't that beautiful? Boy, I wish you could smell it. It really smells wonderful. The crawfish are responding beautifully to that. My noodles have only moments left, 57 seconds. Now I'm going to ladle them directly into my sauce because that's going to give me the ability to keep the texture of my sauce so I don't lose it. The starchy water from the pasta is a good way with that. And so since I'm going to put it right into my pasta, I'm not going to need to rinse it or drain it, okay? Now, I cooked it 7 minutes, which is a little early, but I wanted it very al dente, that is to say firmer, because once the cooking pasta gets in the sauce, it's going to continue to absorb, so I wanted to just do that. So I'm just going to do like that. Now, I use this noodle for my fettuccine because, as you know, I've done a lot of catering for a long time, and so when people are eating with just a fork or in their laps at a party or a reception, then you want something that's very manageable with a fork. So these noodles do a fine job for that. All right, isn't that pretty? I'm just going to put that right on there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn off my stock. Add that to that, a little bit more. You see this is a spider web. It's very effective. It gets every little bit of pasta out of that boiling pot. Isn't that beautiful? Then I'm going to add a little bit of my nicely, freshly chopped parsley to that, and then combine. Now, you've probably, when watching this spoon, this is my favorite cooking utensil because it's a nice broad spoon. It brings a lot of food with it when it moves it. So that's what we're doing. We're bringing all that good, beautiful, isn't that gorgeous? Beautiful, beautiful stock from the bottom of our thing right into there. Okay, well, I certainly hope that you've enjoyed being with us today at the Accidental Chef Cooking School. Remember, at accidentalcookingblog.com, you can find out more information about the food we cooked here today, or how you can learn how to make more dishes at home from our blog. We have a lot of history and information we're very interested in where food comes from and why we eat it that way, why our ancestors cook the way they do. So all that information, you can follow us on the blog, and we'll keep you posted of any things that's going on here at the school or in the area that's of interest to foodies like yourself. So we thank you today for visiting us here at the Accidental Chef Cooking School cooking show at the cooking school. Remember, I'm Carlos, I'm the Accidental Chef. We'd love to for you to enjoy our blog at accidentalcookingblog.com, and we just thank you and we just appreciate you being here today.